So for the better part of a century, Panerai has been known to make these very military-inspired kind of tool watches. Not everybody is aware. They also do some really cool high horology pieces.
The PAM 768, the Lo Scienziato, or the Scientist. And we're lucky to sit down with it because it's very rare that we even get to see these pieces in person.
Yeah, in my career here, this is the fourth one I've ever seen in 8 years.
Of different colorways.
Correct.
And styles.
They've done multiple different versions of this watch over the years, but it is just an absolute masterclass. In this particular model, in the DMLS Titanium, direct metal laser sintering. DMLS Titanium, it is a masterclass in how to make something lightweight.
And we're going to kind of go through everything that makes this watch unique. There's so many different features to it. We'll talk through. I'm Elizabeth. This is George. If you're new to our channel, we love Panerai. We do lots of reviews and watches from all brands. So make sure to like and subscribe and stick around. So Panerai the Tourbillon first came into Panerai's world, and it was exposed through the open caseback, right?
Correct.
I mean, we never saw it from the front into more modern day, maybe going back before the year 2020 into the 2000s.
Well, and even in this modern one, there's kind of a nod to that first one. We kind of called it the comment or the dot. Yes. There's a little tell on this one that they carried straight through from that. The only tell from the dial side on that original tourbillon was you have your seconds hand. Panerai's tourbillons have always been 30-second tourbillons, not 1-minute tourbillons. So there was always a second dot that was kind of following the seconds hand around, going twice the speed. So if you knew, you knew. It was kind of cool.
Right. It was kind of the secret tourbillon. And that's actually my favorite feature on this one.
Yeah.
First thing you're going to notice right away, there is no dial. The movement is the dial is what you're noticing, all 3D laser printed.
Correct.
DMLS. Makes it incredibly light, also incredibly interesting to look at.
Yeah, there's a texture DMLS that's immediately identifiable once you know what you're looking at. And the process is kind of fascinating. It is literally a 5-micron layer of dust, then a laser weld. Dust weld. Yeah. So it prints up. What that allows them to do, if you look at this dial, there's kind of a lattice structure. That structure goes all the way out into the case. The only metal you see here is what needs to be there for structural integrity. It's absolutely fascinating. All the way down to the deployant. They skeletonize the deployant. Who does that? These guys do. Absolutely incredible. So
the numbers and dashes, the indicators are on the side of the case, still with full luminescence, which is what we would expect from Panerai. And then let's talk about that tourbillon at the 10, 11 o'clock. This is Panerai's patented tourbillon, full rotation, like George mentioned, every 30 seconds.
Yeah, and what's cool, most tourbillons will vibrate and then spin on their own plane. This one does it on an axis. So visually very stimulating. Very, very cool watch to look at, because even if you don't know what a tourbillon is necessarily, you know something's unique here, something's different here, something you haven't seen before. So I love that.
I think it looks really special on the wrist. It also has a very pleasing sound to it. We were just talking about how much we notice this watch. You can hear the ticking of the tourbillon.
Titanium is a really good resonant metal for a lot of things. Honestly, they should do it in more minute repeaters because it really does ring very bright and very true. But because of that, you can hear the ticking. I find it very relaxing. I was actually wearing one of these on a plane, and I was just kind of sitting there like this, and I could hear it over the engine. Plane. But it was just it's very satisfying. It's at that beginning of 60 Minutes, that tick, 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 tick.
It makes me feel like I'm in a library. Okay, but there's a lot more features going on with this watch. Also a GMT. It's Panerai's home time GMT, so that you're tracking a second time zone. It hides underneath the hours hand, so when you're at home, you don't need it. And then say you travel 3 hours ahead, it's a quick pull out of the crown, and you adjust that hand.
Correct. What I like here too, and it doesn't happen on all GMTs, some of them are just bi-tempos, if you will. It does have an AM/PM indicator.
Yes,
makes me very happy. I love that. I travel, and I and I kind of need that when I travel, so I really like the fact that it's here.
And at the 9 o'clock is the seconds hand, and then within that seconds hand dial is the comet that's tracking the tourbillon, which is my favorite part.
Yeah, it's a little dot with like a tail after it. It really looks like a comet, and it's that nod to that original one. I just absolutely love the fact that they did it on this watch.
And finally, on the front of the case, we have the power reserve. This is a manual wind, but 6-day manual wind tourbillon. So it's nice to have the power reserve. You can see kind of what's happening. Yeah,
you only have to wind it once every 6 days. It's a lot of winds, 100 or so winds, but it's once a week. Personally, though, I love the colorway.
Love this colorway. The green inner bezel. So Seeing it online does not do it justice, because when Panerai's photographed it, it looks like a very matte green.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of get this movement of it. But when you see it in person and you move it in the light, you get so much more flash and change to the color.
It's almost like an anodized green. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a real depth there. I really
think
like
it's like
it.
a mood ring. Like, it kind of changes and the color changes as you look. It's really interesting. I don't know how they did it, but I love it.
And then a nice juxtaposition onto the bezel with their Carbotech, their patented technology, the Carbotech bezel. So I just love you. You've got the gray, the green, the black. It's just a fabulous looking
this watch is light and it's big. It's 47 millimeter, about 18 millimeters thick. So it wears higher on the wrist, but it's so light. It's,
you
it's
don't
lighter
even know
than the
it's
watch
on. Yeah,
I'm wearing now.
It's incredible because it's not a small watch. This is not for the wallflower. But yeah, you barely even know it's there, and it still slides under a sleeve like you don't even know it. It's great.
Notice.
Yep.
On the crown, they also use the carbon fiber, and they have the safety lock, which is just nice. And then you get a little bit of that green on the crown itself. Panerai only made 150 of this model.
And that was not like an inline production. This is a small batch over the course of many years. This is not a high production piece in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so very special that we got to do this. We're very lucky we got to do this. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite feature of the Lo Scienziato is. And if you want to see it or hear it in person, you can visit our stores in Scottsdale, Arizona and Aspen, Colorado.